Hi, it's Ricky of Moshville Times here once again. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a guy that took me 3 years to buck up the courage to ask him if we could have an interview. When I actually spoke to him, I just realised that you couldn't have met a nicer guy. So we have none other than Chris, this is shit, Ryan, of the Masters of Lowering IQ Party Cannon. So, first of all, thanks very much for doing this interview with me. And I just have to ask, how the devil are you, mate?
Not bad. Thanks for having me on, man. Doing away. Enjoying the sun while it's out. Convinced my dog to go for a walk, but all right, all good. All good. Hope
Yeah.
you're doing well as well.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Unfortunately, I don't have a exciting life as you do. I haven't seen as many sights as you have, and I bet you have seen some sights right enough in that tour bus. But yeah, so I'm just delighted that you get to see the sun in Dunfermline because you don't get it in East Kilbride. I can tell you that you get the four seasons in one day. But yes, so I even I did a Winterfest in January. Chris came in and he stood in front of me, and I just couldn't buck up the courage to ask him. But I saw him at a gig a couple of weeks ago with one of your many projects, Iniquitous Savagery, and I'm glad I said that right. When they're about to release their new album through Willowtip Records, so that's no small feat for a band for Scotland in itself. So you must be excited to get that one out as well.
Yes, that Iniquitous Savagery album has had many hurdles, and it's been a long time coming. I think our last album came out in 2015, so it's on track to be out this year. So it's only like a nine-year gap.
Yeah.
Only been a few lineup changes. We had a single out a couple of years ago, and that was meant to be part of the album, but here we are 2 years later, still sitting on it.
Yeah. Was it just a case like everybody's busy with everything else, or was it just a wee bit of lazy-itis?
Maybe a bit both. One of the main things is we changed singer, so that was the whole thing. And there's some members had some personal issues in the band that they had to resolve, so that took quite a while. No fault of their own. It was like a extenuating circumstance, but yeah, so that kind of put the brakes on things. But then obviously COVID happened, and that also put the brakes on things. Finally there. I think it's worth it. We've already started writing one afterwards, so I think the gap between this album and the next album won't be 9 years. It might just be 6 years. But
Well, it's actually with Party Cannon because it took you like, what was it? You've written 2 albums in the last 2 years, whereas it was a good 5 years or something like that before the previous or something like that. So you've picked up the pace with Party Cannon as well. So
yeah, I think the Party Cannon albums, I think it was 7 years between our first album and second album, but we had an EP and a split between them.
Yeah.
Because what kept happening was we'd start writing the second album and we'd get offered like a good tour or something like that. So we're like, okay, let's have new music out before this tour. So that become an EP. Then write some new songs, get over a tour, that becomes split. Come back, so temporary album. Then COVID happened, and I was thinking COVID was a good thing. It was contextually helpful for us to sit down and finish writing the second album. So that eventually happened. Then we realized 7 years is too long for a length. Let's sack EPs, let's sack splits and stuff, let's just focus and get another album done. Yeah. And then we got offered the whole thing with Unique Leader. Like, okay, if we're going to do Unique Leader, let's do it properly. Get an album out. Just bug it out and do that. So that's the fastest we've ever written anything.
With the time off in COVID, I hate talking about that because it was a good few years ago now, but
I know, right?
Did it make you concentrate more on the sound? Like, did it make you discover new products on like your laptop and Pro Tools and stuff like that? Did it advance you in that way?
No, I'm very much stuck in the Stone Age when it comes to home recording. The most I can do, and this is like a post-COVID thing as well. Up until 2 years ago, I was still running a computer with Windows XP, and I could not run any like recording software. I was using Guitar Pro 5, which is up to, just for context, it's Guitar Pro 8 now, so I was way behind. And that's just how I wrote songs. I just programmed them into MIDI on Guitar Pro using my slow as fuck old ass janky computer. It's only in the past 2 years I went and bought I knew that was gonna happen. It's only in the past 2 years I went and bought a Focusrite and got my own recording setup.
Right.
And I say recording setup, it's still not that advanced. So code was good for it gave me time to really write an album, and our drummer still had like a drum set you could work on and stuff. So I could like send him MIDI tracks and he could send it back. But when it comes to actually catching up to the rest of the world and getting good at home recording, Not at all. No, no, I'm still decades behind everyone else. But no.
Well, I don't know what it is that you do, but it still sounds absolutely brilliant with Party Cannon. But just back to that Iniquitous gig, that was a tidy, tidy wee gig. And I think your drummer, I think he must have lost like a stone after the set and stuff like that. He was dripping sweat. It was so hot in that room.
Yes.
But what a set he played, man.
No, Ewan is one of the best drummers I ever played with. He was the first drummer I played with who's like good at drums, if that makes sense. Not to like discredit anyone else I played drums with, but when I started jamming with him, it was like night and day. I went, oh right, that's how you play drums. That was like a real eye-opening experience because he joined Iniquitous Savagery first and started jamming. I was like, "What was mad? I can't believe there's just like a guy my age in Glasgow that plays drums like this." Like, he was the first guy I saw that did like the traditional blast beat like on right board properly. He was like doing actual double kick. He was like playing like polyrhythms and things like that, and he's like hitting the shit out of his kit. And then I had him fill in for Party Cannon. Oh, when our original drummer was fired, and when he started playing the songs, I was like, "All right, these songs are actually good."
Different
Like,
level.
when you have a drummer that can actually play, it makes the songs better. So when I met you, and he really gave me that appreciation of how hard it is to play death metal drums and how it in itself is just like it's just like an art in itself to play drums like that. And yeah, your drummer makes the band really. I mean, everything has its place, but if your drummer is not good, the band's not good.
Yeah. What I love about your current drummer in Party Cannon was I'm going to see a band on Friday night, Burning the Dream, and he used to drum for Burning the Dream, but he's just went from one end of the spectrum to the most extreme end of the spectrum, you know. So, but he's an outstanding drummer as well. So you know how to find good drummers.
Definitely. No, Martin came a long way as well. Like, we kind of poached him from Burning Dream. Originally, he was just going to fill in for a couple of gigs, but then I realized actually he can play songs, we get along with him and stuff. We need a drummer. Let's just ask him to join. And he really buckled down. Like when he joined the band, like he really just put in time and effort to get good at like death metal drumming. Because at that point, he had mostly just played like progressive like metal or like played like death metal, but nothing like. I feel like a fucking pretentious prick saying this. Like he played like death metal, but he didn't play like Party Cannon style death metal. He didn't play brutal death metal. And there's just like a gap there, like in terms of not to discredit like death metal drummers, but when you're playing brutal death metal, the level blasted and the level of double kick and things like that.
Yeah.
That it's just that itself is just a skill. Like it's like a fucking Olympic sport. You used to buckle down and practice that. So credit to Martin, especially in the last couple of years, he's really come into his own. He's really like nailed in like playing that style of music.
Yeah. It's all fair and well doing it in the studio where you can do it, record it over and over and over again until he gets it right. But to do it live for a 40, 50-minute set.
Yes.
Yeah. And here you are, you're just standing there just going like that. But hey ho.
Yeah. I don't know. I get an easy job. I just play the one thing for a while.
With occasional growl, I'll give you that, with occasional growl. But before Party Cannon and the host of extreme metal bands that you played in, I'm not even going to try and name them, were you ever in like a traditional heavy metal band first, like something at school when it was like traditional heavy metal? I don't see you like in a punk or a hardcore band or anything like that, but I know that you were 19 when you started Party Cannon. Were you in anything before that?
Well, in terms of like traditional heavy metal, my favorite band ever is Iron Maiden. That was like the band that got me into like playing music and things. And my first band, I wouldn't say it was like a proper band. We never played any gigs or recorded anything. But me and some friends had a band called Midnight Prowler that tried to sound like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And it was not good. It was not good. Like just one of those things that you jam like 5 to 10 times and it just goes nowhere. But it's just like a learning curve. It's like a learning curve anyway.
Yeah. Were you trying to write your own stuff or were you just in covers initially?
Covers initially, we very badly play stuff like Fear the Dark and Painkiller, by Judas Priest and stuff. And not good. We tried to write our own things, but just
you knew
just sound like kids. Even then, you're like, it's not working. Then first proper band I joined was more like a techie death band called Psychoanalysis of some friends from school, and which is cool. Like, I mean, I say proper band. All we really did was play like ticket selling gigs at Every Blacks and like to support lots of stuff. We never did any actual like touring and that. We had releases. We had like some decent sounding like recordings and stuff. But
Yeah.
It just kind of fizzled out after a while. Like I kind of wanted to push it a bit further and do things further afield. Like we played a few gigs in Aberdeen and stuff. We played with like Bonesaw in Aberdeen and one time, and I want to go to England and stuff like that. But our guys, the drummer was really into it, but our two guys did seem as keen. I think they're kind of losing the love for practicing like hard music and stuff like that, and want to do other things. And also, being fully honest, that style of death metal, it kind of sounded more like Black Dahlia Murder or Iniquitous. And by the time that came around, like I was kind of fully over it kind of style of music. It was good for getting into like more brutal stuff, but by the time Second Houses was coming to an end, I was like, I just want to play brutal death metal. I'd already started Party Cannon. I just want to play like obscene sounding death metal, like breakdowns and stuff. And I was like so far away from what Second Houses were doing. But that was like a huge learning experience. That was like how I learned to write songs, how to be in a band, how to like what to practice, how to like play gigs properly, stuff like that, how to like network and things. It was like a huge learning curve. Yeah. And that's probably the most traditional band I've been in that actually did stuff. If that makes sense.
I'm glad that you didn't say you were in a Motley Crue cover band or something like that, you know. So I'm glad.
Oh, no, maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. My Iron Maiden cover band's definitely coming at some point.
But were you always a bass player? Did you like try the guitars? Did you try the drums, or did you accidentally fall into becoming a bass player, or would you always want to be the player? Did you see somebody like Thin Lizzy on the telly or something like that say, "I want to be him," or what was it? Or Geezer Butler? What was it made you want to be a bass player?
Same story as everybody. My friends play guitar. Someone played drums already, and he needed a bass player. Originally, I was going to take a guitar, without even like playing one. But anyway, I wanted a bass player, so I fuck, I would just play bass. Like back then, music was still like new and fascinating to me. So the idea of picking up an instrument and knew nothing about was like fun. It's quite interesting though, because I took a bass and I didn't really know anything about it. And I took lessons for 1 year from a guy. I think his name was John Scotland. And he was a guitar player. He was like an amazing guitar player. Yeah. But he was not a bass player. So I remember lesson one, we're still trying to like a Red Hot Chili Peppers song. But a year in, I was still trying to play that one song. I was like, this is not happening. Like, I have no idea what is that. Why I can't like do this get any better. Like, no matter how hard I practice something like that, it just didn't click. And he stopped. I turned up at his house one day, and his mom answered the door and went, "John stopped teaching guitar," and that was it. You just stopped playing guitar. Right. So I went to a music shop in Dunfermline and I found a flyer for a guy called Laurie McMillan, who was the bass player for Ray Wilson, who used to be in Genesis. And I think what fuck was like a guy that actually plays with people like proper like acts and stuff, just in Dunfermline teaching bass. Yeah. And I had one lesson with him, and he explained music to me in a way that just like straight away I could play bass. Clicked. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is or how he described it. I just clicked. Like, wow. I straight away just in one lesson it was like 10 times better than it was like for a whole year. So then on, like from that point on, I got more into being a bass player. That was just something I did to hang out with friends. It was something I gained an active interest in, because no matter how into something you are, if you make no progress, you kind of lose the fire for it. Yeah, like it's the progress that kind of makes you keep wanting to do it. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And here we are. I mean, it's been 3 months since you've released Injuries Are Inevitable. So how far has the world's IQ dropped, and how positive have the reviews been? So far, so good. So dumb, I'd say. A lot of people are saying it's a favourite Party Cannon album, which is good. It's the first album, Unique Leader, which is definitely a big step up for us. Lots of respect to Gorehouse Productions, who we were with before, but Unique Leader is like the classic brutal death metal label that I've been putting out a lot of big bands as well. So reaching new people. Just in terms of stats and stuff like that, our plays went way up. We had over 100,000 streams on the album in the first week. Wow. Our Instagram followers like doubled, like our Spotify followers doubled as well. We at one point had like 54,000 monthly plays, which made us like, I think we might still be at the spot, but we're like the 5th most streamed metal band in Scotland, and something like the 3rd most streamed death metal band in the UK or something like that. Is this becoming more commercial? Does this mean that you're going to have to do a ballad in the next album or something? I don't know, man. Like, I don't think you could make Party Cannon less commercial. I mean, I'm not saying like commercial ending, but I think that's part of the appeal. I think when people listen to Party Cannon and it's so obscene, that's why they enjoy it. But if you listen to Party Cannon and it was like a ballad, like he said, like, oh, I can't expect this, so where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Also, none of us are like talented enough to write a ballad, so that's not happening. There's not gonna be any like cradle filth like symphonic stuff happening anytime soon.
Nah, I don't see that. You've got plenty of other projects, so you certainly can create one if you wanted to do anything like that. But yeah, but it must also be surprising. You just talked about social media there. It must be great to have a look and see where your album's actually been bought. Is there any that stood out? Is there any obscure places like Egypt or something like that? Because I know that you guys do very well over in Asia and things like that, Taiwan and China and things like that. But what about strange places where you've noticed your album being listened to or bought?
One of the stranger ones, I got a guy messaged me. There's a guy that didn't really do that well, but he just mentioned he sent me a picture. And he was in Serbia, and there's a guy wearing a Party Cannon shirt recently, and it was like a new one. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm just in Serbia hanging out. Here's a guy in a Party Cannon shirt. He's like, okay, that's a dozen. Like, Serbia's never really been on the radar for like music at all. I don't even know like bands like help Serbia that much. They must have, right? But yeah, that was a bizarre one. That's when I realized, okay, there's
Yeah,
people here. I think the most kind of eye-opening ones when we did play China, when we did play Beijing, people were turning up with Party Cannon stuff, asking to get signed, asking if we were going to be playing certain songs like that. Like, oh, okay, I had no like grasp that people in China in 2019 were up to date with like Party Cannon releases.
yeah, you have to
So
sign autographs and things like that.
yeah, sounds good.
Oh,
Sounds
you're a
good.
rock star.
Yeah, 9 to 5 rockstar.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
weekends.
No, I mean, it's the bit. I'm so jealous because it must be the best feeling in the world when you go on the stage, you play your instruments, and you see everybody react the way that they do, press ups or whatever. In fact, I think I saw something on the social media doing the world record press up challenge or something.
Yes, I think the word record is a bit tenuous, but we're trying to make a very big sort of push
Yeah,
up to a brutal assault. We're playing the main stage, like the actual like main stage, opening at 10:30 a.m. So obviously main stage is main stage, and that's really good. But 10:30 a.m. on
yeah,
a Friday at brutal assault, that's a hard slot. That's a hard slot. So I'm trying to like drum up as much as possible, just kind of make it memorable. Trying to
yeah,
give people a reason to be hungover and watching a band
yeah.
because there's like 2 days of the fest beforehand, and there's great bands playing all the time. So I think Emperor are playing like Thursday night or something like that. So we need to give people a reason to come watch us at 10:30 a.m. after watching Emperor the night before. So
I'm sure you will, especially at the main stage. I'm sure you'll do fine. But also, you must be happy that, like all these countries all over the world and things like that, you don't need to go to the post office anymore to post all these bloody things anymore, do you? Do you remember those days? You would sit hours on your living room floor with your sellotape and getting it caught on your fingers and all the rest of it, paper cuts.
I still do it. I
Yeah.
still run the Park End shop. That's still my project, still my baby. But I don't go to post office anymore. I found out that the post office will come to you for free and bring you labels. So
You go then.
anyone listening, you can do that. You can just go online and arrange a collection. It took me so long to realize this, but that is an option in your life for no extra charge. The post office will just come to your house with
Well,
labels and take your stuff.
you must be a regular customer then. You must piss them off with the amount of exports that you're doing and things like that. But I remember,
Yeah.
yeah, I interviewed Tailripper and I saw behind him it was just shelves upon shelves of merch and stuff like that. Is that what, do you have like a man cave just full of all these treasures?
Yes. Yes. At the moment, we're down to like no merch. We just play a bunch of festivals. It's all gone. But usually in my house, I just have shelves and shelves and shelves of just like different Bargain merch and like labels and stuff, envelopes ready to go. Just do it
Yeah,
myself. Because up until like a couple of years ago, we were just like a fully DIY operation. Like I was booking on the gigs, I was running on social media, I was sorting everything, I was sorting all the merch, things like that. So even though we've got management now and everything, I've still retained some control of it. So merchandise, like funding, like things like that. So just kind of still keeping some control. And I feel if I post merch myself, I know it's going to get done.
yeah.
Whereas we've done like third party stuff before, and I wasn't very happy with how it was going. Like I remember when we first released vinyl, I just the company we're using, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they didn't receive the shipment or something like that, but it took years, like over a year, for people to start receiving their orders and stuff like that. So
wow.
I figured, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this myself. It takes up some time, but I'd rather people who are willing to give me money for music I make receive the stuff and receive it in like a timely manner rather than trust it with someone else.
Yeah. And it's a huge difference in postage costs as well. Like sometimes I can get a CD in America for $7, but it'll cost me 20 quid to post it. I'm like,
yes.
But again, it must be extremely pleasing with all the merch that you do. Honestly, marketing geniuses you guys are with your logo. And you must sell a fuck ton of merch. Because that's really the only way that bands can make money now, merch and gigging, you know. Because you don't get it from album sales anymore, especially online. But you guys are ticking all the boxes, so maybe you can get out of Dunfermline yet. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I'm getting there. I moved to Iniquitous recently, which is attached to Dunfermline, but not quite Dunfermline. So moving up in the world. But no, you are completely right. Merch is exactly how you stay afloat. Guarantees and stuff, even if they do go up, you just usually cover like running costs. So even if you get paid like $2 or $3 for a festival in Finland or something like that, that's gonna cover like just your flights for like 5 people.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
What annoys me is like the venues are added there but on as well, so you can get a long sleeve top. It's like 40 quid. So I've seen bands put on posts saying, right, we're in the pub across the road and come and get us there and not have to give 25% cut or something like that, you know.
Luckily, we've not had to deal with that with any venues so far, and there's only been 1 or 2 times our venues asked us for a cut, and we've just said no and left.
Wow.
Yeah, thankfully that's not caused many issues. However, I know bands in America have tried to say no to venue cuts before, and it's caused a lot of problems.
Yeah. It's just the world's completely changed since COVID, isn't it? But going back to injuries are inevitable. We've only recently discovered that was not going to be the album title. It was going to. Well, thankfully, it is called "Injuries Are Inevitable" because I can say that. But try to say gluttonous portions of vaginal seepage live on the radio. So, one, I can't believe that you scrapped the title. And 2, I can't believe that people didn't see that this is a way to gain commercial success.
Well, not to burst your bubble out there, man, but I was just talking shit there. We weren't going to call the album.
I believed you.
Like, I know, I'm so convincing, but we did cycle through a few things. Like, I think coming up with Party Can album title is one of the hardest parts because it needs to sound like Party Can, and every day people will send me suggestions for Party Can album titles, and it's all things like to do with confetti and clowns and stuff like that. I'm like, we could just release an album that's just called like fucking murder confetti clowns or something like that, and people would probably be happy. But I want to be like a step ahead of what people expect and still kind of in the Party Cannon zone.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Injuries Inevitable tick that box. I think it did anyway, but I kind of want to do something people can't guess, but still think, oh, that sounds like Party Can.
Yeah.
Without like deviating too much from what Party Can is. I'm not going to release like an album of space because I feel that's kind of like cheap. Like, oh, people don't expect Party Can to release an album of space, so we did that. But it's like, it's also kind of obvious in a way. So I kind of want to make it as Party Can as possible, but on a level above what people expect. I don't know if that sounds like a smell of farce when I say that, but
well, to be honest with you, you quite annoyed me, to be quite honest with you, because you even described how the album cover was going to look. So I did believe you.
I wonder how many people did think that. We've got like a behind the scenes featurette for Injuries L coming up, and there's just a whole section where me and Mike are just reeling off made up like album titles.
Yeah.
So go ahead to look forward.
No, good stuff, man. But what I did notice was that you mixed and mastered volumes of Vomit at Sound Lodge Studios. and injuries are inevitable in Rightway Studios. So was that your choice of location, or did your Unique Leader record suggest that to you, or was this something that you came across while being in the States? I mean, I know like Dying Fetus have used it for the last couple of albums, for example. I don't know whether you just loved the sound of that, so that's why you went with them. How did Rightway Studios come about?
Exactly that, man. We love Dying Fetus. Dying Fetus are the biggest influence of the band. So like, okay, Steve Wright, he's worked with Dying Fetus for over 10 years now, so he must know the sound, he must know that style. If we go with him, we'll get something we like.
Yeah.
So Sound Lodge did a great job on the last couple of releases. They did the last 3 releases, the EP, the split, and the last album. But we just kind of want to make sure it sounded different, and we had like more of a budget to work with this time. So we thought to go big. Who knows when we'll do another album again? Get Steve Wright in there, and it'll definitely get something like. We like stuff from Sound Lodge. It sounds great, but there's always something. There's always something. No matter how good an album sounds, if you release an album, you're always like, I didn't like this, like that. That's annoying me. This and that. So we thought, okay, we'll just try something this time.
Yeah.
So we recorded Full or Voil Studio, how you pronounce it, in Wales. Had that all tracked everything there, which is a really kind of idyllic, like farm location in the middle of nowhere, which is complete opposite of like a death metal album. Recording session. And then we tracked it there. And it's quite like a stress-free process. Whereas usually we're really pressed for time when it comes to recording. But Mike, a Full, would just let us record till like 2 a.m. We could start at any time we wanted, record until any time we wanted, and he was just on the go all the time. And he always had ideas. He's always just keen to do stuff.
Yeah.
So that really alleviated some pressure, because it meant we just had all the time in the world to like just track and fuck things up. Whereas before it'd be like, the last time we recorded was during COVID, so that was like a fucking nightmare. I know I keep coming back to COVID, but it was like a huge thing. So tracking that during COVID was like a fucking nightmare, because there's so many restrictions and loopholes and stuff like that. Whereas this, we just take all the time in the world. If something wasn't working, I could just go outside and stare at some cows for a bit and come back in. And it was just a good headspace to be in. We all stayed at the studio as well. We could always like cook stuff, like hang out, and it's just a good vibe. So I feel we got
down there for.
Like, we went down originally for about 3 days to track drums. Then we went on tour for a week and a half, just like a festival run. Then we came back for another 10 days, and so maybe like a week and 14 days ago, like 2 weeks. That was good. It was definitely like just good to be in the zone, just be there. It wasn't a case of I'll go to work in the morning, then I'll drive to Glasgow, record till like 6 p.m, like try and get all my bass tracks done in like 3 hours or everything like that. That was more, you have 2 full days to record bass, and you have all the equipment in the world, and if you're getting fucked off with it, you can just go outside and it'll be nice and fresh. That was a good experience. So I feel they're doing that. We've got like a better, like more organic takes and stuff to sound like Steve Wright. So I felt just going into the process was just a better experience than we've had before, and working with someone else who's like working way more extreme death metal bands and giving them stuff we're more happy with, ended up getting like a better product. And he was like quite receptive to anything we wanted to say, and he was more concerned about making it sound a way we wanted to sound, or be happy with that, rather than putting his own stamp on it. Be like, this needs to sound like the Steve Wright version of it. He was like, I want Party Can to be happy with the Party Can sound. So it was a good process. And obviously, being a guy who does Dying Fetus, he understands we want to sound like Dying Fetus. So
I mean, I've interviewed Dan Swano, but as soon as you hear a record, you know it's Dan Swano, you know it's Tom Skogsberg and Scott Burns and all that nonsense. But this guy he's like blues and classical and jazz, and so it looks as if you've got like a real organic sound. Does it make you wish that you could have done that with early? If you had the opportunity to re-record any of your earlier releases, what one would it be?
Definitely the first album, Bong Hospitalization. Every step of that album we fucked up. I've said this in interviews before, but that was a disaster. Absolute fucking disaster. That was the album that made us realize, okay, we all need to practice way more if we want to play this kind of music. We all need to get we need to get like tempo maps and things like that. Basic things, like make sure the guitars are set up properly, like just dumb shit like that. Like Yeah, it was a fucking nightmare. Also, like, if you're going to edit drums, make sure you edit the drums before you record guitars on them, or else it's going to be a nightmare. So we
Well,
might
that's how you
actually
learn, isn't it?
re-record.
It's how you learn.
Yes, it's an expensive way to learn. A very permanent way to learn. We might re-record some stuff for it. Next year's like 10 years is the first album, so we might do an EP where we re-record the songs we like from an album. We started jamming for them again. I thought, okay, we can actually play these properly now that we're like adults. So maybe a spoiler, it might not happen, but next year we might release some re-recordings of our first album.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to ask you what the anniversary would be. Is the 10th or the 20th closer, and just re-record it again? But no, that's all cool. But you touched on it a wee bit earlier. You had released albums through Gorehouse Productions, which is a great record label, and released brilliant albums throughout the years for a while now. But you're now with a huge record label, Unique Leader Records. So when the album deal with Gorehouse ended, did you have multiple offers and this one just stood out? And how has the relationship been so far with Unique Leader?
So we didn't really shop around for labels like that. We didn't really have a lot of offers in place because when we were at Gorehouse, I just sent a demo to Unique Leader just out of blue, like, hey man, what do you think of this? And he didn't reply to me like months and months. Yeah. So we just continued with Gorehouse to do Volumes of Vomit. And the day we announced that we were releasing Volumes of Vomit, Unique Leader got back in touch and be like, hey, we're interested in working with you. And this must be like 6 months later. Wow. And they went, we're interested in working with you. When would you want to release your album? I was like, oh fuck man, I've actually just re-signed to Gorehouse for like 2 albums. We're gonna have to figure this one out. So we did the whole cycle for Volumes of Vomit with Gorehouse, just with Unique Leader in the back burner, saying they know they're like interested in it. And that became a whole thing. I had to like negotiate exiting the contract with Gorehouse and things like that, and ended up being way more complicated than I'd hoped. Yeah. Like, apparently, with Brutal Death Metal, there's still like legal and contractual obligations you need to meet. Yeah. So that took a while. Like, all up to Carl's stuff. I understand he's just protecting his investments and stuff, and he's trying to get most out of the money to it in, but that took fucking forever. Like, trying to get out of that contract took like a year. So when we eventually got that contract, we knew we wanted to go with Unique Leader. Like, our manager who we signed with, he was already friends with Jamie from Unique Leader. They've already had a working relationship. So the fact that they were already interested and we're working with Kerosene Management, they just negotiated the contract to go. So as soon as we were out of Gorehouse, we had that offer, that contract. Yeah. The advance, everything in writing, ready. I just had to sign it and send off. So the moment I was done with Gorehouse, I signed that contract, and that was it. We're on Unique Leader. Well,
it's absolutely huge. I mean, you can go to the Metal Blades and then, well, Nuclear Blast, they've fallen a wee bit by the wayside for me. But Metal Blade or Relapse. But yeah, what a record label you've got with Unique, and I hope you have a prosperous relationship with them, and I'm sure that they're going to certainly open some doors for you as well. So
yeah, so far so good. I've got no complaints. Jamie's been great. He's been very responsive. He's been very hyped about the band. He's always had like lots of suggestions and things. If we send him something, he'll give us like feedback, which is good. Yeah, he's not stuck with any creativity like as well. He's not been like, you need to put clean vocals here, or you need to sample your drum kit completely, or anything like that. We've just sent him what we do, and he's liked it. So I don't think he would have signed a band like us if he wanted us to change anything like that. So that's definitely been like a sticking point for me as well. Like, if we're going to work with a label, I don't care how much money they're giving us, we still need to sound like Party Can. Like, yeah. I don't like
no compromise.
Super produced. Yeah, I'm not into like super polished, like clean singing stuff. So why would I, for the amount of money they give me, why would I do it? So
yeah,
didn't have to be based. So
to be fair, I thought you would have brought the angelic voice of Party Cannon. Yeah, I know you're desperate.
I know. Smooth tones, like. I'm just desperate. It's just the band have been keeping me back. Next release, so who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. With Party Cannon, anything can happen. That's brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Chris. But how does it feel now being in Party Cannon when you started out and maybe initially playing gigs to like 10 people and their dog, but now you're pretty much touring all over the world to hundreds of people? It must be the best feeling in the world, seeing people go shit crazy to your songs. But I was just wondering if there's a place on your bucket list that you haven't quite managed. I don't know. You haven't played Australia yet, have you?
No, that is on the cards though. So
Cool.
fingers crossed that works out. 2025, we might finally go to Australia. I always said my bucket list place to play would be Japan, and I've always said once we play Japan, I'll put my bass in my bed and I'll be it. I don't need to do the party again anymore. But when we did play Japan, we played 2 sold out gigs with Waking It Hour, who are one of my favorite bands ever, on like a full Asian tour. And I just really want to do the band more. Just like being yeah, being like at that point since we're fully DIY and stuff and booking gigs all over the world, so it's stressful. It takes up your time, and when things go wrong, that's just your time wasted.
Yeah.
So I was at points like, oh, fuck, like this is a lot of work. Maybe I'll just play one really big gig in this country and call it quits.
Yeah.
But then that happened. I like always keep setting new goals. Like I want to go to America. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to like Finland or something like that, or I want to go to Italy, and I do it. Like okay, cool. Oh wait, now I want to do something else. I want to go to Asia. I want to go to Japan. Then just come back. And cool. Then I've got more places I want to keep going. Also, I kind of realized like traveling on tour for me anyway is like more fun than just like going on holiday. I think because you see things in their way. You like meet people who you probably wouldn't meet otherwise. And they're like hyped to see you. And they'll show you cool shit. Then the next day you're in like a new place and doing other cool things. And obviously you love playing music. So
have you had any strange gifts from fans at gigs?
Yes. So people like mega stuff and things. They'll bring like cards they made in Tokyo. Sorry, in Osaka. I forget her name, but she came along. She was hyped to see Parkin, and she made like a Parkin like pop up card. So when you opened it, our singer's face would pop out. Like she drew herself, and that was amazing. That was adorable. It was great. But the strangest gift I got was in New Kensington in America. We played Preservation or Perseverance Hardcore Museum, which is like an old converted church, which is really awesome venue. And this guy turned up, something like 1920. And apparently I was on his podcast at one point. I didn't recognize the guy because I think we must have done like audio. He came up to me, shook my hand. He's like, thanks for being on my podcast. It was great to see you. Glad to finally meet you. So he's like talking away. Then his mum turned up and she went, thanks for being good with my son. Take this. And it was a box set of Mickey Flanagan.
I bet you've still got it though.
I do. It's the last DVD I ever watched. Because I mean, it's so bizarre. She's like, "Here you go. You're from the UK. You'll probably like this. I bought this and it doesn't work with our American DVD players." Like, okay, so just a box like a triple box set of Mickey Flanagan specials. Like, that's people have given me like stuff. It's like, oh, here's my hair and things like that. Here's my hair in a jar. Here's random shit. He's like, have some drugs and things like that. But nothing will top just how little I expected to be given a DVD box set of Mickey Flanagan in the middle of America by some guy's mum who turned up. It's like, thank you. She went, thank you for being good with my kids. Here's a Mickey Flanagan box set. You will like this because you're from the UK.
I thought you were going to say something like a tiger print thong or something like that. Or
right, like so. When I said a tiger print thong, like this has happened. People like give me underwear and stuff before. People like give me a lot of stuff. A tiger print thong. People like, oh yeah, that's a bizarre gift. That's like, and that's you could probably guess that like you did. But a box set of Mickey Flanagan on DVD. There's no way you saw it coming. I could give you 20 guesses. Would be there. And then today, like, it's still like the most bizarre gift. I've had people when we played Philippines. This guy came along. He printed out like high res, like full paper pictures of us and got us to sign it. So like, say we did like band promos, you like print them off and give them sign it, and you like frame it and things like that. I thought that was kind of weird at the time, but it's cool at the same time. It is not a box set of Mickey Flanagan though. That's going to stay with me, man. That was in 2022 as well. I remember like we played that, then the next night. This is a total tangent. The next night, I was standing at the merch desk, and this guy came up and started talking to me. He's like, and he went, "Oh, I didn't realize you guys were from Scotland." I was like, "Oh yeah, we're a Scottish band." And he went, "I thought you were from Czechoslovakia." I mean, keep in mind, this is 2022. I went, "Hey man, I've got some news for you. Czechoslovakia is not a country anymore.
Very true. Very true.
He's like, really? Oh wow! So that guy learned a lot in that 2 minute conversation.
He learned two things. He learned that you're from Scotland, but he also learned that Czechoslovakia doesn't exist anymore. So
that really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia. I mean,
yeah. What do they teach in schools over there, man?
I had to text my dad when it happened. Like, hey dad, this happened. My dad's like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no way this guy come up and say it's Czechoslovakia.
Christ. Bassist interviewed Jason of Ingested a few months ago when they were releasing their album. Was there a point, do you think, where together as a band you realised we've got something here? We're going to drop everything else and concentrate solely on Party Cannon and make this work? Well, when did it really start to hit home for you?
I think when we first toured America is when it hit home for me. When we first signed to Gorehouse, put a part in half, the reissue of part in half in Gorehouse, that's when I realised, I think, oh, maybe we're actually on something. I thought we had something decent on a go when we're just getting like offers in Europe and things like that to like play like smaller festivals, or I could like try and book a gig. If I want to play this city, I'd talk to Paul and I went, oh, I definitely want to book you guys.
Yeah.
That's cool. We get some mentions on Facebook and stuff. Like, cool. I went, yeah, it's definitely worth doing. When we got Martin to join the band, and got like a solid lineup where things sounded good, and we had members that actually want to like practice and do things. So like, yeah, it is worth doing. But I think it was when we first toured America in 2015, and we were announced in Barrier Death Fest, and all the comments were like, "Fuck yeah, Party! I never thought to see Party again." That's when I realized, okay, this is, if I'm going to focus on a band and really put all my spare time into it, this is the band you should be doing, because this is what people like. We're turning up, people were getting us to like sign their bodies and things like that. People like we're selling out merch like, straight away and things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, okay, fuck, we're actually happening. The Bay of Death Fest gig as well was when we came back, and that poster went super viral online. That was like maybe months after we came back. Like, I think we played Bay of Death Fest in July and toured with Epicardiectomy and Parasitic Ejaculation around the US for 2 weeks. Then when we got back, we had some downtime. Then it was like November that year, the flyer went viral, and I was like, okay, this is definitely worth doing. People think we're just fucking nuts. Because then, again, I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but that flyer and their logo from that viral incident is now included in like 3 university marketing and art design courses in the UK. And there's a bunch of like marketing books that have like a chapter about like the logo and things like that.
Yeah.
A guy released this like book called like, I don't know, like this online article called "Be More Party Can." It's just a big thing about how you need like stand up and like marketing and stuff like that.
You couldn't have dreamed this when you started all this shit.
No, that's a really bizarre one, because you said earlier, like, we were quote unquote marketing geniuses. That is an accent. If I was that good at marketing, I would not work a 9-to-5 desk job somewhere right now.
Very true. Very true.
So that was fully unintentional genius. But there's another one, a guy at TED Talk pulled up the Party Can flyer. I remember someone sent me a picture. I was like, this is happening. This is a TED Talk, and this guy's talking about the logo. So stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Made me realize it's like we're doing an event. Like, we're definitely like on to something. Like, obviously, it doesn't like, whereas we do like make money from it and stuff like that. It's not like by like full income. Like, but that's not what like being in a band is really about.
Yeah.
It's more about the people you meet, the things you do, and the connections you make. But yeah, stuff like that. I kind of realize, okay, we're kind of on something. We're on something people are going to remember. It's not going to be something we do for like a year and pass out. Like, this is worth like investing for the long run.
Yeah. So you've said like North America a couple of times. Have you been able to? I don't think you've been able to stretch it to like Central and Southern, have you?
We're playing Mexico in November. That's going to be our first time in Central America. I'm not going to say South America. I said like we toured with a Mexican band in America last year, and I said South America to them, and he got very angry. Central America. America.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know what came right back in my head? Czechoslovakia. But anyway, so you laughed at that guy a minute ago, but never mind. But yeah, so I mean, you must get some reactions from people attending the gigs in foreign countries that have never seen or heard of Party Cannon before. But then by the end of the gig, seeing them come out with everything inflatable, it must be really satisfying to like seeing them all stand at the back. But as the gig goes on, get them to the front, get them dancing, get them surfing. It must be the best feeling in the world. I'm so friggin' jealous.
Oh, it's man. Like, I think that's one thing we've got going for us. We are quite good at winning over a crowd. When we toured with Gwar as opening band, I was kind of very worried about how we'd go down with Gwar, because obviously there's some crossover there. We're both like fun bands, but Gwar are not a real death metal band, and we sound nothing like Gwar.
No.
But when we started playing, like a lot of their fans were kind of up the back, like, "What the fuck is this?" But by the time we'd finished, we definitely wanted more. I think the crowd participation and just the overall, just how extreme and over the top music is, kind of makes it more fun.
Yeah.
And like, also there's so many breakdowns in it as well that when you hit, like, you really hit because the rest of the music's so kind of like chaotic.
Yeah.
I think that really won people over. Also, you've got inflatables and things like that. It's kind of draws people in, and also having the logo helps, because I think if people see the logo on a flyer, they go, "I'm going to check that out." Whereas if they see like Gorgasm on a flyer and go, "Oh, I already know I don't like death metal, so I'm going to check that out." So I think we're in a good position where we're able to win over most crowds just by being ridiculous. In fact, there was one time we kind of last minute, we played a festival in Newcastle as a replacement for Destroyer 666, which is a bold choice, to be honest.
Yeah.
The promoter hit me up and went, "Destroyer 666 have pulled up my festival. Can I have Party Cannon?" I was like, "Fuck it, sure." And we went there. I expected to get booed off, but we won those people over as well. So
wasn't Baker Grove, was it?
Was that, sorry?
Was it Baker Grove?
That is the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that one.
I know the one that you're talking about. No, fair play, man. Fair play. But following on from that question that I asked Jason of Ingested, was there also a time where you thought, "I've had enough"? Was Party Cannon ever close to like just being disbanded? We're just not going anywhere?
So many times. So many times. Most recently, 2021, I had like a full meltdown about this. Basically, COVID, again, going back to COVID. COVID had just kind of lifted. We could play gigs again. Throughout COVID, I kept booking gigs just because I knew at some point it would lift, and I wanted to just get back on the road. And we got really lucky. We booked a UK weekend of Crepitation, and we booked it for, get best guys. Joe from Crepitation is the man. He'd be very good for your podcast, actually. So I can't remember what the exact dates were. I think it was July sometime. So, right, quote unquote, Freedom Day was meant to be in June. So, okay, right, if we book some gigs for July, it'll definitely happen. Then the date kept getting moved further and further back until the lifting date was Monday, and our gigs were Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that means when that lifted, we got very lucky about this. When that lifted, we were the first no restriction, all standing, full capacity metal tour to happen in the UK since the start of COVID.
Brilliant.
So all the gigs sold out, like, bam. It was insane. That was nuts. So we also finished the album. We also recorded it. We spent so much time rehearsing songs, just putting so much effort into it. And lots of things. A lot of stuff went on behind the scenes. And since I'm kind of like the band leader of Party Cannon, I can't use that term because it has a kind of grandiose feel to it. But it's just that, like, I do a lot of the managing side of it and do a lot of writing of Party Cannon. A lot of stuff went on behind the scenes where it required a lot of effort and a lot of strife and a lot of kind of getting to certain points that when Code lifted it and we had an album finished and stuff like that, we got offered like a really good slot of Bloodstock, which I never thought would happen. It had never really been on my radar as a possibility for a band like Party Cannon to play like the Sophie Stage and Bloodstock. So we took it straight away. Like, it was like a good slot as well. And not only was it a good slot, like when we were announced, people were going fucking insane. Like, holy shit, Party Cannon playing Bloodstock. I was getting messages every day from people being like, I can't wait to see Party Cannon Bloodstock. This whole reason I bought a ticket. I can't believe there's like a band like this playing Bloodstock. Some guy was like, "Can I propose to my girlfriend during your set of Bloodstock?" The BBC got in touch saying that they were filming a special for a podcast called A Gay and a Non-Gay, which is apparently like an award-winning podcast. I hadn't heard of it before that point, and basically they're going to come to the festival because the guy who's the non-gay and a gay, non-gay. I feel like I've said gay so many times on your podcast now, it's probably going to get demonetized or something now. Apparently, the guy who's the non-gay in that podcast is like a huge metalhead, so it's going to be this whole kind of thing where he takes the gay guy to Bloodstock to experience metal, and of course, being gay, he was going to want to check out Party Cannon because of the logo. But this is how they pitched it to us, and just find out. I'm sure it's a lot of fun though. All like, in the wheelhouse. I don't think they're like victimizing a guy for being gay or anything like that. Just cover around his back. But so that's gonna be a whole thing. We're gonna be like featured in like documentary. Then basically at that point you still had like tests for COVID before you play like festivals or anything like that.
Yeah.
And Bloodstock had quite a strict testing policy, which is fair enough. Like
absolutely.
Everything's lifted. You don't want to fuck up now. Like you want to make sure you're unclear. And something like 2 days before we went to play, our drummer tested positive for COVID, and it was absolutely fucked. So basically, everyone just kind of went like that, and I did not take it well. I absolutely did not take it well. I went, fuck this. I didn't talk about. I went done. I didn't talk to my band for like a week. I had like lay on the floor for like 2 days. Like I can't believe this happened because since I was like booking everything, writing everything, just kind of doing everything myself. Like that's all my spare time. Like I said earlier, I still work 9 to 5. I had a girlfriend at the point. I had like a dog and things. I had like my own life. So every waking moment, I wasn't doing like adult stuff. I was just writing, booking Party Cannon, managing everything, sending out merch and things like that. So when that happened, I just felt like so much of my time was just gone like that, just in an instance. And I knew how many people were going to be disappointed. There was members of our local bands, I'm not going to name, quite openly gloating about us being cancelled on Bloodstock as well. I'm like, fuck, these guys don't usually get to me, but now it's getting to me. So I was like that close to just like throwing the towel at that point.
Yeah.
But I took a couple of days and I went, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a proper manager and I'm going to get a booking agent and I'm just going to outsource all this to them. Because say a booking agent books us on Bloodstock and it gets cancelled for some reason, that's their job to deal with it. That's something they're paid to do. Whereas, and if that cancels, they have loads of contacts and stuff to kind of just fall back on.
Yeah.
That's just part of their job. Whereas for me, that was just my actual time.
Like, it's just a shame that you didn't know your drummer from Iniquitous Savagery back then. Oh, you did?
I did. But it was like 2 days notice, man. And
what are you doing at the weekend?
It's like fancy playing both. But it worked out in the end. Like, because the next year we got into Gore and now went through Bloodstock. Because Bloodstock got in touch straight away, which was very good. Like, I completely appreciate Vicky and Alan and everyone. Sorry, Vicky and Adam, I think, at Bloodstock for doing this. Like, they got in touch straight away and went, we'll book you for next year. Same condition, same slots.
Fair play.
And that coincided with our tour of Gore. So not only did we come back and play Bloodstock on the Soviet stage, it was part of our tour of Gore. So way more hype. And also, not to discredit like the lineup for Bloodstock that year, but it was mostly like local UK bands.
That's right.
Just because of the restriction. So when we played like a bigger lineup, it was like Behemoth and things like that. So I think I'm never gonna say it's a good thing or drama with COVID, but I think we made most of it.
It was a question I was going to ask. Like, do you feel like a positive effect of COVID is like people are now going to more local shows? It's like because they didn't see local bands for like 18 months and stuff like that. But as soon as, I mean, you can go out in Glasgow on a Saturday night and you can go to 5 separate gigs if you wanted. Yes. But I'm just wondering if you feel that has had a positive effect that people are now going to see more shows.
Absolutely. I have never seen Glasgow death metal, Glasgow street metal, or even Glasgow like hardcore this busy before. So when in 2023 last year, Party Cannon did a headline tour with God Eater as support. We played the Ethics in Glasgow, and that sold out. And Undeath from America, they played a Flying Duck down the street. That also sold out. And when I was a teenager, 2 death metal gigs happening in Glasgow on the same night was unheard of. But if that was to happen in Glasgow when I was a teenager, both venues would be empty. So that shows you how far that's come.
Yeah.
And like bands like Slime Lord and things like that, who credit to them are a great band, but they're not like Nile or anything like that. They're coming to Glasgow and mostly selling out like audio and things like that. So
yeah, I
it's
think it's
insane.
funny, like you get on tours like where you are complete. I think you were on the Cow Decapitation tour, and you played at the Cat House, and it was like Travis Ryan is very vocal about slam death metal and deathcore and shit like that. But played a stellar set. Played a stellar set. You don't give a shit anyway, but you played a great audience. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I know Travis. I've had a run in with Travis before, but right, we're friends now. We're friends now. It's all good.
good. That's great to hear. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
But when it came to the songwriting for Injuries Are Inevitable, were you still the main songwriter, or were you happy for the other guys to generate more riffs and ideas? Did you feel like it was still all of you, 90% you, or did the other guys contribute a lot more?
It was definitely. I know it feels like such a PR thing to say. It was definitely the most kind of collaborative album I've done. Because obviously, again, going back to COVID, we couldn't really be in the same room. So,
Yeah.
and previous to COVID, we had like no members. It's like guitarist quit, drummer quit. We kept having filling guys and stuff. So I just ended up like you couldn't really just get. I couldn't just get in a room and jam with people. I could like
Yeah.
play the songs with Craig, guitarist, but it's not really the same. Like if you just run through guitarists together, it's not really the same kind of burst of like inspiration to like, oh wait, we should do this bit here and stuff. So when it came to Injuries Are Inevitable and we could actually get into the room together, like it was more a case of I would write like skeletons for a song and then we'd jam it. Then everyone else would go, oh, maybe we did this bit here or did that bit here, or we added this bit in. We could actually like demoed it properly and things. We
Yeah.
demoed Bombs of Vomit as well, but again with the restrictions in place and stuff, it's kind of hard to just get in like right, let's fuck around with this as much as possible. With Injuries, we had way more time to do it. So Martin definitely had more ideas, and this time just kind of more like structurally.
Yeah.
The riffs are still 90% mine. Craig wrote a song on it as well. Craig writes fucking insane songs. Like on Bombs of Vomit, you wrote 2 songs, and they're probably both my favorite songs on the album. One of them is the one we always open with, Grass Obliteration, but everyone is 67 Threesome, and it's fucking madness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good though. It's so good though. But it's like a 6.5 minute like prog epic, but it just gets more insane. So Craig
How
is
does
very
it feel like
talented.
when you've generated your songs and the guys are like, Chris, it's not working, mate. It's not happening.
I mean, I
How do
can't
you
use it
take it?
now. Like, yeah, like when we first started doing it, like Boris band, there's definitely more arguing and things. I think when a few people joined the bands, they had different ideas of what party cannon should be, but they realized soon after it, party cannon as a sound of it's easier now. Like I kind of approaching since back when I had no members, I had to kind of just write song and put out there like this is how the song's gonna be. We don't really have any leeway for this, but now we have members. I kind of go in a bit more loosely. I go like, this is what I had in my head. Give me your input, and I'd be like, this was not working. Let's try this instead. And I'm okay with that, but it's
Yeah.
more that they've kind of gotten better as well at being, here's what we should do instead, rather than just going, fuck this. So a bit of a balance, because
Are you the moody one? Are you the hardest one to please in the band?
yeah, probably to be honest, because I have double opinions of things. Like I there's so much stuff I don't like. Like if someone's like, this sounds like Morbid Angel, like fuck, don't do that to me.
Hence the name, This Is Shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly how I got a fucking nickname at one point. Because
Yeah.
I don't like anything, man. Like I don't know what it is, man. I'm just so over a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't even like talk about it as well, being like feel like an arsehole. But so much stuff that like people kind of expect you to like, or it's kind of accepted as the fact. Like I just not into so not into like I have so many dumb opinions. Things like, for example, I don't like Morbid Angel because it's not heavy enough. I don't like Death because it's not fast enough. And like, I don't like. I don't really like. I don't. It's like popping up in one kind of being that whole thing. I don't like old school death metal that much as well. Like my idea of an old
We're
school
going
death
to
metal
fall out
band
here.
is
We're going to fall out.
like bands like Autopsy and stuff. No, like I don't like melodic death metal. I don't like
Yes.
Adgate.
Watch what
I
you're
don't
fucking saying here.
like my idea of an old school death metal band is suffocation. Like in my opinion, death metal became death metal when Extra Forgotten and Butcher the Birth came out. That is like proper death metal. But that's just me.
Like slam death metal, they invented it. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Apparently, it's an unpopular opinion to think death metal should be like disgusting. That's just me. It's me. But yeah, I'd say I'm definitely the hardest one to please in some aspects. Everyone has their own
voice
ways and things, and like I need to write this way, so a drummer likes it, or do this way, so Craig can play this certain part and stuff. But
no,
just in general, I'm
cool.
just sticking with stuff.
Well, as I said to you before this interview, I do have 47 questions. I'm afraid I've only got 23 left. I do appreciate the time that you. I do appreciate the time that you spent with me so far.
It's been good, man. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Let me talk shit on Morbid Angel, and that's always fun. You're
making me blush, but yes, that will be written in the article. Morbid Angel or shit is going to be the title of the article.
Off topic, but it's happening again. So, I've got this really jank setup. I've got like a Shein phone stand on top of a bass case that's gonna tall enough to look at my face. But kind of thought we played a festival with I Am Morbid. So we played 2 festivals with I Am Morbid last year, and we met Dave Vincent from Morbid Angel because he was in it, and he did not want to talk to us at all. Like he did not want to, like he was not approachable in the slightest, which is fine, I get. But Pete Sandoval is the coolest guy we've ever met. Ever. Pete Sandoval was hammered the whole time and just hanging out with guitarist Craig. They're just talking about country music for fucking ages till like 2 a.m, just blasting country songs like on his like old Bluetooth speaker and stuff, having the best time. So we played Italy with Iron Morbid, and we hung out with Pete Sandoval all night. Then they flew to Summer Breeze, and we turned up like after him. And as soon as I saw Pete Sandoval, like fuck yeah, it's Pete Sandoval. And we're like high fiving us. Like this is surreal.
Do you know the next adventure that you should look at is writing a book, because your book can probably write so much already, so many autobiographies already, with your stories. But it's so jealous to meet these guys. But I know, like Glenn Benn, for example, like Deicide played here about 6 months ago, and you just saw his face. He just didn't want to be there. He wanted off the stage. There's no camaraderie in between songs. Just played songs off, and it was all to do with weed. He needed his weed, but fuck him.
I absolutely fucking love Deicide, right? Everything up to Scars of Crucifix, I think is like amazing.
Agreed.
When I saw Deicide as a teenager, Glenn Benn didn't turn up.
That's right. I was the Cat House.
Yes. That was like the first time in the Cat House. I think I was too young to get in, but I got in anyway because I had like long hair and blue roller. But yeah, got there. Glenn Benn wasn't there. I can't remember who it was. Was it Seth from Severe Torture that did vocals that night?
You may be right. You may be right. It's going to annoy me. Was it a Swedish band as well?
Could be. Like, was it maybe one of the guys from Christ Agony? I can't remember. Also, this is like years and years and years ago. But
yeah,
Glenn didn't turn up. That's the only time I've seen Deicide. Well, Glenn Benn vocals.
I know, but it is what it is. That's what it is. That's egos for you, and I'm glad to say that you don't have an ego. You're just moody. But yeah, you currently have Daryl Boyce of the Scordatura Boys standing in for Stoney for live performances. He's taken the role very, very well, by the way. I've got a lot of time for Daryl. But will Stoney ever come back to playing live, or are you just happy with the current format just now? Is this just highlight showcasing that everybody's got a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job and their own commitments?
There'll be a proper announcement about this pretty soon. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
There's another podcast I was on a while ago where I absolutely spilled the beans on this. I don't know if I was meant to do that, but there'll be news about that at some point.
Right.
Just from this conversation, people can probably guess what's coming, but there'll be an announcement about a few things.
He does it live. I've seen him obviously with Scorda and you guys, and he does have the presence of an excellent front man. So fair play for getting a hold of him. But also this year, it was this year, you also reached out to Tony from the Mighty Blood Thread. They take forever to fucking record something. So yes, Tony, that is a dig at you to do some live performances for this year. So how did he settle in? Again, is this just a case of family life, or your day job's a guitarist couldn't get time off?
Yeah, so Mike, a guitarist, he is having his first kid. He's like a stepdad at the moment, but he's having his actual own organic child.
Organic.
Biological or so he's so he's on a paternity leave for a little while. So he's coming back. We have some gigs in February in Ireland, and he's coming back for them, but he's just going to take the rest of the year off.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean,
absolutely.
So yes, Tony from Bloodred fill-in. We've known him for a while. We know he's a very so we've had lots of fill-in members. So there's many reasons to choose a guy to fill in for your band. And when you're kind of on stage of Party Can, where you're playing like Brutal Assault and things like that, or doing a lot of traveling and think there's a lot of moving parts that can go wrong. You don't only just need someone that can like play really well. You kind of need someone who's like focused and takes them seriously and is like dedicated and can like compartmentalize things and kind of organize himself. And Tony is a very he does things like 100%. Like he's very good at things. Like he ran his reason we asked him is because we've worked with him in the past. Like he's put in gigs. I know he's like run his own business stuff successfully. He's very good at guitar, obviously. The Bloodshed, he kind of runs Bloodthread in a way, like he manages all that, all the recording things. So we just felt he'd be like a good fit. He's not played a gig with us yet, but he's turned up to the rehearsals and he's nailed it. Absolutely fine. He's like logging fine. We've like spoke to him about like just how things need to run, and he's like already on board with it. And how, so he's just the right person for the right guy for the job. Absolutely. However, he did tell me that he's been abroad once in his life. So he's never played Europe, and his first gig with us is going to be opening main stage at Brutal Assault. So that's quite a big task for him. And he's also come to Mexico with us. So he's come to Mexico, Italy. Have we done everything? Maybe not. Yeah, he's doing Mexico, Italy, and obviously Brutal Assault with us. So he's come from, I've only been abroad once in my life and only been on plane one time to
abroad. Has been in Millport as well or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be on a fucking million-hour flight list to Mexico.
Yeah, but you should dedicate a song to him for the next album or something like that and call it Shit in a Brick, because that is exactly what he's going to be doing.
yes, absolutely. But no, credits to him. He nailed it. Like, we're very happy with how he's doing it. He's had some personal things going on as well, and he's kind of still gone with this. So I really appreciate Tony doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to listen to this, but thank you, Tony, for stepping in. You've done a great job. More people need to appreciate how good Tony is a guitarist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen a number of his YouTube videos. I've got a lot of time for Bloodthread, and when Peter was in it as well, you know, so they just need to get something out there. I've seen them live with their new songs. They just need to get it recorded and get it out, you know.
But Tony was telling me that he's got it recorded. It's on go. So, spoilers there for you.
Good. Absolutely good. But Stoney as well. I mean, for example, I love the bit in Weird But Not Illegal towards the end. I think he was showing signs that he was listening to Gutalax a wee bit too much with his vocals. But I love Gutalax as well, just talking about shit all day long. But absolutely brilliant.
Gutalax are guys. Like, Gutalax is a friend of ours. Like, we've done a bunch of gigs in Europe with him. Like, good guys. And it's definitely the band we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many videos of Gutalax on Obscene Extreme and stuff like that, and inflatables and stuff like that, and I'm like, Party Cannon.
Yep.
Need to get there, man. Need to get there. Cheers, Chris. Thank you very much. But so how come you changed the colour of the font for Party Cannon, especially the backwards R for the last couple of albums? It's got nothing to do with a certain toy store, is it?
It's got up to an engine, man. I didn't even realise that happened. Yeah,
well, I mean, backwards R for the whole of your career, and then Volumes of Vomit, and then this album, Injuries Are Inevitable, is changed to green. So it was blue, but now it's green.
Really?
Yes.
That hasn't used to be.
Unless I've done my research wrong, but when I looked on for example.
That's probably going to be my fault. Like, because I handle like the fucking like artwork stuff, but I would probably give it to someone and they'd probably change the colour and not told me. Yeah. Well, I like to do my research and my prep when I do interviews. And when I looked at my Talum and it brings up the album covers, then that's when I noticed that your font has changed. And I just thought you guys had got into a little bit of trouble because this store had the backwards R in their name. So, well, we outlasted that store. So
You did. You
there
should
is that.
for copyright then.
Yeah.
But listen, I can take some brutal death metal. I mean, I love my Disfiguring the Goddess. I've got a lot of time for Big Chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Disentomb, you've got Pathology, obviously, and stuff like that. But I especially like it when it slows down, when the slam's there with the low guttural parts. But I also love the use of samples. So whether it's serial killers, whether it's horror films, or just all-round weird comments, keep them coming. Like even the first guy, the drunk guy in the very first song of the album, or the sex in the shed one from Safety is Not Priority. You might like any of your spare time, do you just watch obscure slasher films or something like that? Filchy?
Yes, absolutely. That whole thing is my wife, man. Like, I watch so much shit, just general shit. Like, I love obscure horror films. I love like absolute splatterhouse films, and I love like dumb comedy films, like stupid American comedy films from the thousands. And I love old British like comedy shows like Brass Eye, and it feels weird to say Peep Show's like an old show, but like stuff like Peep Show. But I
Yeah.
love like I'm obsessed with documentaries as well, like anything to do with Louis Theroux or Andrew Callahan, even though he's considered a bad man now, like things like that.
Yeah.
So into it. So and I love to like keep party can samples. Like there's definitely like a vibe there. I can't really describe it, but when I hear a sample, I know that's a party can sample. So I have like a folder on my Google Drive of just samples from party can stuff. Also, I watched a lot of like shit cartoons as well. That's something I'm always been into. So that's why we have like samples from like um
Not Daffy Duck or anything like that, no.
no, like stuff like Regular Show and Adventure Time or Ren and Stimpy and things like that. That's where all can go comes from. I don't know if we actually sample any of those, but yeah, things like that. That's just the vibe, just the vibe. So
Yeah. No, I definitely love them. I mean, got a lot of time for like Ryan Mills, who does like Seven Doors and stuff, and some of the samples
yeah.
he uses and shit like that, and the same with Brain Bath, obviously. But I have to ask, in the video for Not Immediately Life-Threatening, who's the guy in the mask? Is it Daryl?
Bailey from Scapegoat Productions.
Ah,
Don't you? Yeah, have you met him before? He was at the gig
yeah,
at Ori Lounge. Yeah,
yeah.
big ginger dude. He is the unsung hero of Party Again. He animated the Danny Trejo video, the Street Fighter one we did.
Wow.
He used to do all our video stuff. He just has so many good ideas. He's just like a creative well. So and he's also just one of our good friends. So we just love having him around. He makes all the skull masks and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Makes like props and things. Stoney's girlfriend also makes all the props, so they kind of work collaboratively. Like party cans kind of extended to like a kind of collective. Like there's like people working in the background, we've got video guys, we've got like prop guys and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Bailey's like the unsung sixth member of party can. He's a guy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you know, I felt sorry more for the drummer Martin. Most of all, that he had to cut his own pubic hair, but then he had that.
That's his own idea. Actually.
He was it, yeah. Because that's what I was
Yeah,
going to ask. When it came to the video, were all the contents your ideas, or did the video guy come up with a couple of ideas on the day?
So there's always stuff that comes up on the fly in a day, but originally I had 3 videos in mind, and I had to discuss with Cal the video guy what's feasible and what's not feasible. And as time went on, and we tried like book locations and things like that, we tried to get like our actors involved. When that didn't like work out, we had to kind of readjust things.
Yeah.
So I'd give ideas to Callum, and he'd like translate into what is filmable and what's not filmable. So when it eventually came down to like the actual thing we're going to film, we then just like spread ideas out. So I was like, okay, we're going to do a Saw type video where everyone has to do like a dumb challenge, just kind of like fist his end or jackets and stuff like that. I just gave it
So Scottish jigsaw.
So I just like I just went to each guy in the van, like, right, come up with your own thing you're comfortable doing in your own word. So my one was I did arm wrestle Bailey, ripped my arm off, or got like, and yeah.
I was rooting
Mike
for you
came up.
too when you won that second one. I was rooting for you.
Yeah, it's good, right? Like the whole thing turned out better than expected because another thing I don't like, I'm not like into music videos. I think music videos are like I just never really sat and watch a video. And usually when you watch a music video, it's like a guy's playing in a warehouse and stuff. So it's like if we're going to shoot a music video, it needs to be like entertaining from start to finish.
Yeah.
It can't just be us in a fucking forest or something like that, or a fucking like
yeah,
old building like
yeah. But I think it's only death metal video that I've seen where Bowbag has been mentioned. So fair play to you, man. Fair play to you.
Yeah, really. There you go. You're real for it.
Yeah. But we have to talk about the album covers. So Volumes of Vomit, would you say that's maybe your Symphonies of Sickness tribute? But also Injuries Are Inevitable. I'm pissed off at you because you said about autopsy and stuff like that, because I actually think that Injuries Are Inevitable is a wee bit of an Acts of the Unspeakable tribute.
Fun fact, when I sent Damorph, the artist, ideas for what I wanted, I used Acts of the Unspeakable as reference art. I used that, and I used Shadow's Repugnance by Defeated Sanity, and there was one other thing, I can't remember what it was. But either way, it was like an idea. I wanted to be like a total Where's Wally of horror shit. But Shadow's Repugnance, not working that, I would have thought a little about it, a little from Defeated Sanity. He was saying it was influenced by Acts of Unspeakable by Autopsy, so I want to look that up as well. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That is a fucking sick album art. Yeah, so those were the influences. There was another one, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I actually sent those to the guy. But you are totally right. Volumes of Vomit is meant to sound like Symphonies of Sickness, Carcass.
Is it been censored like Symphonies of Sickness?
No, it's fine. I think.
No.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't get censored at all. Like, that was just out in shop fronts, me being sick and fucking.
Yeah.
The way we made that was we did this campaign where we went out to our fans and went, send us in pictures of you being sick or partying, and we'll include in an album. And we got over 200 submissions of people throwing off. my brother's in the fucking album as well.
Excuse the pun, but there must be some sickened videos out there.
We got some interesting ones. We got some people that just didn't understand the assignment. Like, some people were just sending us pictures of them having their dinner and stuff like that. So what the fuck is that? And some people were sending us like fully lighted, like professionally shot pictures of them in like fursuits in their bed, like covered in balloons and stuff like that. And some people were sending us like insane projectile vomit pictures. I was like, how did that even happen? So it's quite a spectrum.
Yeah,
there's quite a wide variety of things there. But I think it worked out pretty well, because when you go through like the album booklet, it just more and more and more horrendous things. And we got Jan from the band Fluid to create like the collage and stuff.
Yeah. You need more love and romance in your life, mate. You do.
Oh. Absolutely.
Yeah. But listen, I've only got 3 or 4 questions left. I do appreciate your time, Chris.
It's been fun, man. It's been fun.
Thank you. But duct tape to a flagpole. Are some of the lyrics that you write to your songs depicting actual events that happen to the band members? Like duct tape to a flagpole, is that like a stag night or something?
No, it's not something that actually happened. However, for the single cover, I legitimately got duct taped to a lamppost.
How long did they leave you? Right, we're going to the pub and then we'll come back for you.
Yeah, so when they're like 5 a.m, and left me there till like the next. No, yeah, so I don't duct tape to that song title. I just thought it sounded like a like the cadence of it sounded like a death metal song title. Duct tape to a flagpole, like horror to a chainsaw, like type things. That kind of just the way it kind of tripped up the tongue, like addicted to vaginal skin and things, or butchered at, or things like that. I felt it was very, very clever at the time. But
just another one, for example, like fornicating ethically sourced fair trade chocolate. But
so that's like that game when we're in Holland for the first time, we went to Amsterdam, and you can buy it here now, but before then you could only buy Tony's chocolate in Amsterdam or in Holland, and the whole appeal that was ethically sourced. So I remember a drummer's wife was like, bring me back a bunch of this chocolate, and he bought fucking shitload of it. It was insane. And just like, I don't know, it just came out. Someone eventually said fornicating ethically sourced fair trade chocolate, and they're like, okay, we're going to keep that as a song. That was a back print of a shirt at one point.
Fuck's sake. Brilliant. But also, I love the lyrics to the new album. Like I do my research, I do my prep. I went on to Metallum, and when I looked at the lyrics for each of the 10 songs, all I got was indecipherable IQ lowering gutturals. So Stoney must have been up all night thinking the lyrics for the 10 songs then for that.
Yes. Most of our vocals do not really have lyrics. No, like fully transparent. No, our lyrics on this new album, there's more lyrics than there were of the last album. But Stoney, he didn't really want to print those lyrics. It's just a thing he has. He doesn't really like publishing stuff he's written. The last album, Volumes of Vomit, very few lyrics. When we did Parted in Half and Bong It Hospitalization, me and him sat up together and we wrote scores and scores of like thought lyrics to do with like anime and sci-fi and things like that, and just like general kind of there's like a lore to them and stuff. It was like almost like paragraphs and paragraphs of lyrics. And when we're recording, we kind of went, it actually just sounds better if you make a noise rather than trying to fit the word in. They're like, why are we doing this then? If that's the case, like why are we bothering to write so many lyrics if you making the noise in the pattern sounds way more brutal than fucking a lyric about human instrumentality and things like that. Why are you not just making the noise and changing the tone? So for the next album, we just went with that, and it sounds like 10 times better, I think. So, but there's like parts, so like it just kind of depends on the vocal style. Like really kind of like percussive like guttural vocals, like pig squeals and stuff. It just sounds better if there's not a lyric and it's just a pattern. Whereas kind of more mid-pitch stuff or like high vocals sound better if there's like a lyric there. So just finding that balance. We found a balance with this album, I think. But Stoney did not want to print his lyrics. I think I don't know. It's his choice. His choice in the end.
Absolutely.
But there are more lyrics on this album. There's a line in it about losing into the abyss. Yeah.
I even say it.
Yeah.
It's makes it laugh.
But yeah, stuff like that. So I think the next album, depending on how it goes, we might print lyrics, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I remember way back, it was Obituary Cause of Death, which is my favourite death metal album of all time. And when you look at Cause of Death and you open up, you see for the whole album, there's like 6 lines of lyrics. But then, of course, for the incomplete, there's like lyrics for the songs. And I want a Cause of Death Mark II. But that's me getting a wee bit sidetracked. But yeah, absolutely outstanding vocals as per usual. But you must get, with you guys being a bit of a party band, a bit of a tongue-in-cheek band, you must get so many laughs with the feedback that you get in social media. I mean, I saw one the other day with Dick Gobbler. That was funny as, I must admit. You guys are just fucking geniuses, absolute geniuses.
Yeah, we do get some interesting feedback. Like, one guy was, you get a lot of people who like aren't into like the whole push-up thing or the whole inflatable thing, and like, oh, it's party energy is fucking nonsense and things like that. Or there's one guy, oh my fucking god, it's an insane video. If you go on our Instagram, I upload a video of us at Summer Breeze having a push-up pit, and this guy in the comments, this just makes me come across as someone who reads too many comments, but he was in the comments like, "This is pathetic. All your fans are fucking gay because they can't fucking do push-ups properly. If you're going to be in a fight, like your fans are going to back you up." I was like, show us how it's done then. Just like finding it up. It's like, send us a video of you doing push-ups and prove yourself. And he did. Full on. This guy in Texas, like mullet and everything, mustache, in his grand's house, doing push-ups, calling us like horrible names and stuff. Fucking surrounded by his like grands like China and stuff like that. And like, I'm not like a fitness expert, but he's doing push-ups pretty badly as well. Like, you can go on an Instagram channel and you can watch this. He's like making like fucking super noisy stuff. He's like claiming he's gonna fuck all our mothers and things like that. Like, insanity. Like, it's like fucking insane. Like, it's like my favorite piece of hate mail I've ever been sent in my life. But yeah.
I just hope you don't take it to heart, though.
Was that sorry?
Oh yeah, I just hope you don't take it to heart.
Oh, I was very scared for my mum's old thing after that. Like,
yeah.
But after this interview, man, like, go on our Instagram and look for a fucking video. It's peak internet, like right there, man. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. What you guys need to do is you need to get like stage by stage. You've got a morning Marth on one stage and you guys on another, and see who does more push-ups and see who rows a boat more. And I think you might win.
I've never ever asked anyone to do a robot pit. I don't understand where it came from, but it seems to happen on our gigs sometimes. Like when we played Metal Days, we had like a huge robot pit, and like people are having fun. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like bad saying robot pits are dumb because we have like push-up pits and stuff, and we're also party cannon. But it's bizarre, like people chose to do it. But
Yeah.
there was a really weird bit that happened where people were sitting down rowing, then people would get crowd surfed across the people who are rowing, but since they're all sitting down, they're like that much off the ground.
Yeah.
So that was really strange to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's better than playing your gigs and you've got 100 people just with their phones, just recording and stuff like that. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
Hate that.
like I mean, there's always that debate in Deadpool gigs, like should people be hardcore, like moshing and stuff like that, like doing spin kicks and things. And I'm like, I'd rather people did that and had fun than stood still and did nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
I like hardcore bands and stuff as well, so there's always
No.
energy at those gigs. I'd rather people had like energy and stuff and would
Yeah.
be cool about it rather than just standing there like, oh fuck this, spill the pint.
The only thing I don't like is crowd killing. You know, just intentionally punching and kicking people and stuff. Maybe
Yeah,
it's because I see when it happened at Iniquitous, I must admit, I would just went back that wee bit.
I get it. I get it. I mean, I think with crowd killing as well, there's time and a place. You need to read the room. Like if people are into it, people are into it. But if, like, even people in hardcore like have like a line like if you're just attacking people that are not like into it, then that's dumb. But if people are down in front, people are like into it, it's all good. Also, you're not like trying to like hurt people.
Absolutely.
Just like just read the room. That's all I say. Like just read the room and make sure you're like okay with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I know that with Iniquitous and your other projects, I was going to ask you, like, I can hate you for this, gastroschisis or whatever they're called, and liquefied remains. I was just wondering if anything was happening from that, and whether you're going to write a death doom metal record, or is it you just love the blast beat too much?
I just love the blast beat too much, man. Gastroschisis, I think we'll do something else. Basically, that's just like an online thing. My friend Gabe wrote, shout out to Gabe. He's like an OG Party Can fan. He's one of my good friends. He lives in Malta. He's an actual surgeon. So he played drums in a band, he wrote all the lyrics and stuff. And his friend Dan, recorded guitars. Also, he's very busy because he's like a doctor and a surgeon and things. So that will happen to have is that was just like a fun project because we always have to jam each other and things.
Yeah.
Fun fact about that is that gastroschisis is like a condition where when you're born, your organs are on the outside of your body, which how Gabe put it was it's quite aesthetically displeasing for the parents. However, it's very reversible. And he like part of his job is he fixes kids with like gastroschisis. He just puts their organs back inside. Apparently very easy. Not like a big deal.
I don't really know.
No, but there's this Facebook group called Lovers of Gastroschisis Support because apparently you can get like obviously digestional problems and stuff. And someone shared the band to that Facebook group, and Gabe was inundated with angry mothers for 2 weeks. But that's definitely very bang. And Liquefied Remains, online projects with a friend Luke in London. Yeah, we'll have some more stuff out at some point. Mike from VHS was current guitars for that. Again, it's just kind of as and when, because one's busy with stuff, Mike's busy with VHS, busy with parking mixes.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up doing some side stuff at some point. I was trying to start a porn grind band called Spooge for a while, but that was one of my COVID fever dreams. Was that son?
You know, got enough going on.
Yeah, that's eventually what happened to that. That was a kind of COVID fever dream for me. It's like, oh, I mean, COVID's happening right now. I know I keep going back to it. I've got a lot of free time. Let's just start another band. Then it kind of lifted and went, oh fuck. Starting another band actually like requires doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've got two last questions. Like, I'm thinking of the USA, for example, when it's like a 10-hour travel times between dates. It's that bloody big. What tunes you playing?
Oh, it varies, man. Like, obviously, death metal goes on sometimes. I will be the guy, like, okay, we are going to listen to Deranged Epidemic Disgorge, and we are going to listen to Less Is Humanity again, but it's usually just like some like power pop type stuff or classic like Paul Gilbert type shit, or just sometimes chill stuff. Like I like a lot of, like math rock and like sad like boy emo stuff, but we also all love like Gabber and things like that. So it definitely varies. Definitely varies. On our last tour in Europe, or our last longer tour even, we had a lot of Kim Petras on. Kim Petras released. I don't know if you know who Kim Petras is, which is a German pop artist, and all their songs are just about like heinous sex acts. And so we had her new EP on was called Slut Pop Miami, and it's just fucking nonsense. Like not even like cleverly disguised nonsense. Not even like making a statement. It's just nonsense. Like
Yeah.
fucking. Like the songs are really good though. So that was on all the time.
Yeah.
There's a song on an album called Head Honcho, which is just about sucking dicks, like quite explicitly. That was on repeat. We're driving through like the Swiss, beautiful Swiss landscapes, going through all these mountains and stuff, just blasting it. But when it wasn't on, we'd listened to it so much that us and the Congo guys from America were just singing it. Like it's just fucking. Basically, if you're in a van long enough, you go a little bit crazy and you just do stuff like that.
Well, no, honestly, I would love to be in your position and listen to this kind of shit, but I'm like 50% death metal, 50% dark ambient. I like my chilled out stuff. You can listen to death metal 24 hours a day, you know. I love my cryo chamber and cold meat industry stuff, you know. But my last question for you is, you're the headliner of a gig. You're going to play an 8 to 10 song set. What's the one song off the new album and your back catalogue that you're looking forward to playing most, and why? So maybe fifth in the set list or whatever like that, but what's the two songs that you're looking forward to playing most off the new album and a back catalogue?
New album, Human Slime, straight away.
Why?
2 riffs in that song. There's only 2 riffs in that song.
So it's the easiest party cannon song to play.
Very easy, but it's just 2 slam riffs, and you play the then it's just the same riff but slower. Anytime we play it, people just go fucking nuts. It's just yeah, we're gonna open with that as well. So hopefully people just go fucking insane from the get go. But anytime we play that song, people go nuts. All the songs from the new album, but we have a good reaction. But it's that song in particular, just because it's so evident and so simple, and so just it's just slam riffs, like just get slower. Yeah, that goes nuts. And obviously, I always really like playing songs like High Five Ghost from Part and a Half. That's always I'm excited to play on because that's one of my favorite songs that I've written, and the breakdowns in the song just always like perk people up. Like people always shout the sample back at us as well, so that's always fun. So High Five Ghost for old stuff and Human Slime for new stuff. 2 songs I'm always excited to play.
Do you not play in your Bermuda shorts and no shoes anymore?
I stopped.
Were people trampling on them the more popular that you got?
No. Basically, I stopped not wearing shoes because we played one gig in London where someone had smashed so much glass on stage. Basically what happened was we're playing, like I would fucking put shoes on. But just backstory, the reason I stopped wearing shoes on stage is because I used to sweat so much that my like insoles of my shoe would become like this kind of like shoe yogurt, and it smells so fucking bad. And it was abysmal. Like it just in everyone's best interest if I just didn't do it. And I just like fuck my shoes. I don't know why. Like I don't know why my feet were so fucking sweaty. Who knows? It still happens. I just fucking cope right now. But what was I saying? So played London and Blackheart, always smash glass everywhere, and I was like, I'm gonna wear shoes for this. And we're playing, and this girl got kind of thrown on stage and covering glass. So I bent down to like help her up, and I was wearing my shorts, and I got this like pebble of glass stuck underneath my kneecap. I was like, whoa, that felt weird. And I was like, okay, it doesn't hurt. Then we started playing and finished the song, and I looked down at my leg, and there's just like blood pissing out. I was like, oh shit. So I pulled my short leg up, and there's just this glass sphere in my kneecap. Oh, kind of underneath. I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. But I tried to like take it out.
Yeah.
And it was like lodged in there. So there's a video of me doing this. I can't.
Is that the next Party Cannon album cover?
Could be. I don't know if you can see me. I had to like push this glass pebble out like a big spot, and it shot out, and just blood came absolutely pissing down. Like, oh fuck. I mean, it wasn't like store engine.
Yeah.
Which I didn't expect. I expected this to really, really hurt, but apparently you get glass in you don't really feel it because it's so sharp and smooth.
Yeah.
It's like, shot out my leg, and it just pissed some blood everywhere. And a guy called Joshua was in the audience. He's like a huge Party Cannon fan. He's got like Party Cannon tattooed down his arm. He was in like a sling at that point, so because he fucked his arm up, he came on stage and he bandaged me up, and then some lady jumped on stage and started trying to lick the blood off the leg and stuff. Like, this is getting fucking nuts. So from then on, I started wearing shoes, and I started wearing like gym leggings or like tracksuits on stage.
Yeah,
because it's like it's just so safer and you're still quite flexible. Also, when I was wearing Bermuda's short stuff on stage, they just split all the time. Like they're just not designed for like activity. So I'd just be playing gigs and I'd just be fucked afterwards. Like fucking hell, man. Like,
well, I hope you wore underwear, mate. I hope you wore underwear.
Yeah, for the most part, anyway. Like they just split well.
Well, on that typical Party Cannon ending, we have to end this interview. Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure. I wish it didn't take me now 3 years to say, hi, Chris, how you doing?
So good,
but now that I know that I can do that in future, I can just say, hey, how you doing? But yeah, certainly see these guys. I play you guys on the radio behind me. We'll continue to support Party Cannon. I wish you all the success in touring for this album, because you guys deserve it and do Scotland proud. So you're probably the biggest extreme musical export from Scotland. So keep the flag flying high. Yeah, to the places that you want to tour. So thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much for your time, mate.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.